mindful of staying relevant in this evolving landscape. So this presentation today is going to be less about particular concrete features that are in development right now or about to be released. And this is more of a high level overview of the direction that LeapN is going to take to stay relevant in this space and be unique and deliver value to people. So let's begin. Now, again, everyone in the audience here and people that might be watching later might have a resounding question in their mind that'll keep popping up through this presentation. You might think, hey, aren't all these pictures the same? Like everything that you're showing in this presentation, isn't it just pictures of the platform in the past and features? So you're talking about making a new UI and everything, but where are the new pictures? Well, the answer to that question is this new LeapN user interface and user experience is still currently in development. So it's still being polished up. The high level user flow and menu flow is already designed, but the actual tangible development in the experience is still underway. So it's not polished for public viewing yet. And another reason that I won't be in this presentation is we want to preserve that grandeur of when this new experience gets released. So you'll see later in these slides, it shows an overview of the old LeapN desktop app experience. And we want to really wow people when this new experience comes out. That's why you'll notice a lot of old pictures and not new pictures, but hopefully you'll see some new information. So this, for new people that might be tuning in soon or watching this again later, I want to show some of the experiences that LeapN has delivered on in the past to show a bigger picture of where we've been and where we're heading. So as a lot of you know, we've worked with metaverse project or NFT projects in the past to bring multiplayer social experiences. We've built an intuitive in real time world builder to build photorealistic 3D environments linked to LeapN NFTs. And also being the first to industry with a few mechanics, not only multiplayer co-building in a photorealistic environment, but also in-game NFT minting in such a photorealistic environment where you can use those NFT objects directly in the game. And there's always been a resounding vision in LeapN since the very beginning, and that's been to allow individuals to create extraordinary experiences to share with others in a simple and intuitive fashion. And that's what's inspired in the past design of our world builder, this intuitive drag and drop design. And as people have seen in demos in the past, having this be done collaboratively in real time as well. So you can place objects while you're socializing with friends. And this intuitive approach, we've done demos in the past showcasing how we're working towards delivering that vision of this intuitive experience where some of you might remember in the past showing that using this drag and drop feature, you could create already a social hub in a matter of minutes. While it's a bit zoomed out, this is a fireside hub that I was able to create just by using the drag and drop feature of the world builder to build already an engaging social hub. Now, we're driven by this principle of simplicity. And LeapN has not always been simple. As we'll see in later slides, there's been confusion around the ecosystem and the broad offerings. But simplicity is really what we want to be the lens of how we develop LeapN moving forward. And as many people may know, the famous quote, often attributed to Steve Jobs or Apple, is simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So we believe our approach to simplicity will truly help us stand out in this space. And while I said people typically attribute it to Steve Jobs, it's also said that it was actually coined by Leonardo da Vinci, not Steve Jobs. But regardless, the message still resonates with us at LeapN. So on the note of simplicity, you may notice in the past, LeapN has tried to deliver on a complex, broad ecosystem of services. And we've built out a lot of pieces in the past of this broad ecosystem, from land building to hosting to multiplayer to social to commerce. But as we've discussed actually in recent gatherings, a lot of those experiences weren't brought together into one cohesive experience. And that has been what the desktop app has been working towards, to bring those experiences into one. But as you can see here, this old graphic trying to attempt to lay out our ecosystem is just confusing and overwhelming. And that's not what we are moving forward. That's not the approach we want to take moving forward. And we want to look at things through the lens of simplicity. And that's why we're taking this entire ecosystem and boiling it down to its core digestible parts. And this is part of what we've been alluding to, our platform relaunch, with the core platform app coming soon. So this is driven by our focus on the seamless simplicity across our entire ecosystem of products and services. So instead of having that huge list and web and graph of everything that LeapN is and everything you have to know, we've boiled it down now to 6 distinct items. In the left column, 3 products, and the right column, 3 services. And they all integrate as we move forward seamlessly together. The products, LeapN Desktop. I should say, actually, some of these are not the official brand names for these products and services. Again, part of preserving that grandeur, we want to keep some of those product and service names a secret until we launch them, to really make them shine. So for now, these are placeholders. The products, LeapN Desktop, LeapN VLANs for virtual LANs, and LeapN Items. The desktop is the core experience that lets you interface with all of these tools and experiences in the LeapNverse. We've launched early versions for Windows for the past few months already that have allowed people to build on their Founders Seed worlds and access the multiplayer lugs resort with real-time building. Virtual LANs, the VLANs, that's just the typical LeapN NFTs. You've got your Founders Seed worlds, your alpha plots, golden plots, lugs plots. And those are being encapsulated in this VLAN brand name. And then you have your LeapN items as well, which are your jetpacks, Royal VIP badges, and the machine elves. Now, on the other side, you have your services. So the World Builder, we're rebranding now to LeapN Builder. So I guess I'll give you one of them. That's one of the names that we will be moving to. So across the entire ecosystem, instead of calling it the World Builder, it's now going to be the LeapN Builder. And that's what's going to allow you to build in real time these virtual experiences. Then we're going to have LeapN Profile. As some of you may know, we've built out the LeapN network and the LeapN API that has really moved forward how things work, not only on the back end of the LeapN platform, but how experiences have now become more interoperable on the front end for our users. So this profile of, as you'll see in a couple slides later, setting up an account with just a username and a password, and then being able to link your NFTs and your worlds and your digital presence to that profile is going to become such, oops, that's my screensaver. 1 second. Can you all hear me still? Please send me a message if you can hear me in the general chat. Okay, perfect. Thanks, RingZen. Back to it. So the profile, as I'll outline later, is going to be core to this new seamless platform. And then we have LeapN Explorer. This is what is going to allow users to seamlessly leap between experiences. And I'm not talking, well, sure, the LeapN Explorer is going to help you leap between virtual lands and places that you or others build. But there's also going to be an integration of seamlessly leaping, not between lands, but between aspects of the platform. So the border between the builder, the profile, and the explorer is going to be blurred, where you're just intuitively working or not, working or playing or socializing on the platform, drawing on all of these elements whenever you please, instead of having them be distinctly different. And bear with me for 1 second. And so this is our current ecosystem, boiling it down to just these 6 aspects. But as you'll know, like we've talked in the past about, social features that you'd get as your avatar and in spaces, commerce features, the ability to host events. Going to be live and readily available. And that brings me to the next part here. First of all, you can see kind of just a side-by-side comparison, having this really intricate, broad overview of the LeapN ecosystem that we've portrayed in the past, boiling it down to just simple, digestible line items, our products and our services. Now, a question, especially for existing community members, may be, well, hey, we've talked about all these things in the past and all of these integrations. How are you going to achieve that in just these 6 offerings? So that's a great question, and that's where I want to clarify a few things over the next few slides. Alongside simplicity, not only in ecosystem articulation, but in user experience and continuity between these different products and services moving forward, we want to work on growing the LeapN platform and business sustainably. And to do that, we are focusing on managing expectations while also capitalizing on progress. So what does that mean? That means while we have this broad feature set of technologies and services to draw from and integrate together, we don't want not only the current community, but new community members coming in to be lost by the flood of all of this information. So from a business perspective and a marketing perspective, what we're going to do moving forward is only focus on outwardly presenting what is currently available and what you can currently do with LeapN. So when someone's saying, what is LeapN? You talk about what can they currently do, not what's going to be worked on later, even though we are working towards other things. So that's about managing the expectations and communicating more clearly and keeping sustainable so that LeapN can capitalize on what it currently has and what it's currently accomplished, rather than being weighed down about getting everything else integrated immediately, while that time will come later. So the kind of life cycle of this is going to be, like I said, starting by highlighting the currently available products and services, marketing those, getting people to adopt those, interact with those, get feedback from those, or give feedback from those. Then in the background, while we're focusing on those core solutions that are readily available, LeapN will be building out those next advancements of features in the background. And after those next advancements are well underway and about to be released, and the marketing and the business rollout aspects of those are already underway, being planned, that's when we will unveil those new developments. Much like this presentation, you're going to see some new things, some new information that hasn't been released before, because it's following this new model. So then we'll unveil those new developments and then release them as well when they're ready, and then repeat this cycle. Whenever a new development is released, we will be highlighting that alongside our current existing feature set to have that be in the spotlight of, again, defining what is LeapN, what can you do with it, while we're building out these next advancements in the background to later release and repeat this cycle. So this new ecosystem, this is some stuff you probably, actually, no one has seen this before. This is the first time anyone publicly has seen this. Benefit to you being here live today. You've seen it before anyone else. We are working to overhaul, again, not only our branding, our ecosystem articulation and user experience, but how that is conveyed and communicated to the community. So that's going to be reflected across all of our socials in the future. As you can see here, Discord, these channels aren't live yet, nor publicly viewable, but you can see it's already starting to reflect this new ecosystem layout, which is far more simplified than our past layouts. So you can see LeapN, there's going to be an overview of the ecosystem. I talked about the products and services. Again, highlighting what's currently available so people aren't lost in the sea of what's going to be coming out and integrated later. You're going to have the LeapN desktop. There's going to be channels about information, control reference, and then channels for Windows and Mac collaboration and support. We section for the other services, the profile, the builder. And then for those who are perhaps involved in the NFT side of LeapN and have been around for a while and know of the advancements we want to make, there's going to be an insight section where we are talking about those later developments that are coming down the road. So you can see this kind of simplification of conveying our ecosystem. We want to move across all of our socials and media from Discord to Twitter to our website. And speaking of like existing NFTs and everything, everyone might be wondering, okay, well, I see how you're taking the broad ecosystem that we've talked about in the past, narrowing it into these few products and services that are more digestible, and then you'll work on rolling out more features, introducing those features as marketed in this core feature set. But what about the LeapN NFTs? Like explicitly, how are these going to be fit in? So these NFTs that our community all knows are still going to be integrated in the LeapN platform moving forward. And again, just reiterating, it's a matter of re-articulating the ecosystem. But these NFTs, all the lands you can see in the first column, and I have the items hidden in the background, those will be rolled out either under the existing brand names that I like, brand item names that I showed you, or new ones as they're appropriate as we expand into social commerce and events as such. And the simplification of categorizing our ecosystem under these different banners will help garner not only more of a Web3 audience by making it more understandable what LeapN is and our value proposition, but also two audiences where people that still want to be creative and develop experiences but don't quite have that exposure to crypto wallets and NFTs and how all that works. This new I would say layout of our ecosystem and user experience will also help attract those members as well. So as I was talking about, these NFTs will be gathered under these brand banners. As you can see, the existing collections we have under lands and we have under items. You might be asking, hey, so that's great, but what are the other products and services? You talked about LeapN Desktop, Profile, Builder, Explorer. What's going to happen with all these? So each of these are part of seamlessly integrating them into, it's actually bi-directional. So it's a matter of integrating these LeapN products into these other brand banners and the other way around. So how the desktop experience is going to encompass how you interact with your lands and get value from your lands and items is going to be linked with how the Explorer is used to access those lands, how the profile is linked to your items and your avatars, and how the builder lets you unleash the creativity of these items. So more on the relationship between these aspects will be released down the road. So getting into the marketing again, we want to focus on simplicity and clarity as well. That's a big thing. I was looking around other metaverse platforms in the industry, going through their websites and their white papers and everything. And I have to admit, a lot of people are using the same kind of. Okay, hold on. I see a comment from Green Egyptian, which I will apply first, or which I will address first. Okay, Green Egyptian, thank you for making that comment. So that I see how the presentation so far is perhaps seeming like that, but that's not the case. I apologize that it's not being conveyed properly. So I want to make sure I clarify that. So the NFTs right now are offering premier experiences that no one else will be able to access or have or utilize without those NFTs. So for instance, the Founders Deed worlds, the hierarchy of the lands, also in the future. Yes, so the unique feature set of these NFTs, and thank you, Green Egyptian, for your question. The unique feature set of these NFTs will be unique for those NFTs. And there will be nothing that has that exact value offering or that exact feature capability as those NFTs. And that's part of what makes them distinct and valuable because of what you can unlock with them. So yeah, there's still going to be the hierarchy of like the worlds versus the plots in capabilities and size, but and then again, like the machine elves, for instance, getting a boost. So you can get a boost in your jetpack performance or your stamina or that kind of thing. And having more machine elves stacking that performance, that's still going to apply. What I'm just saying is, while the NFTs are going to be an integral part of the platform, we're working to make it just make it easier to be in the metaverse and easier to build in the metaverse. And whether it's for people that are new new to Web3 or not, it's a matter of making it easy for people and lowering barriers to entry. So if people want to discover what it's like to build a virtual land, we want to be able to offer them a taste of that creativity. So maybe it's not like offering them like a huge founders world that they just get to build on, but giving them the flavor for, wow, I can build like a small social hub and invite people to it with limited capacity. This is really cool. I want to get involved more. And that's where the value of, say, the Founders Seed worlds where the plots come in. So I hope I see your comment here, but yeah, I hope I cleared things up. And I'm a Captain Hook. I'll check out your video in a sec, or probably at the end once I get to the slides here. So anyways, back to the, I'll see you guys are typing. That's fine. I can wait for comments here. Okay, cool. I'm Captain Hook. Sorry, I thought you were going to be sharing like a gameplay trailer or something. I saw, first of all, very cool with the face tracking and the live audio, if you're all seeing in the Discord channel. Did I happen to answer your question, I'm a Captain Hook, about the NFTs? And Green Egyptian, no worries. I really appreciate your comment. Again, I'll put a summary or perhaps even the audio recording later so that you can reference the rest later. But yeah, I'm a Captain Hook. Did I answer your question? And Ringson, I'll get to you in a sec. And Nunya, we'll get to that at the end of the presentation as well. Oh, that's a wonderful question. So I'm a Captain Hook. I'm going to get to the builder later in the presentation, but I'll just address your question right now in case you have to go too. Yes, so the drag and drop feature will be included in the builder, and that builder is accessible again for like the LeapN Land NFTs as it's always been. And it's exciting you say that and connect this to the lore. As you may have heard, we're working on avatar import right now, but that's that's closely integrated with like a custom asset upload feature, which I would think obviously avatars are tied to lore, but then you also have custom assets that tell the unique story of the experience you're creating. So I believe that custom asset and custom avatar feature with that drag and drop builder, yes, I believe that will help you build a metaverse experience which is connected to your project's lore. Does it also count for characters? Yeah. So like I said with the avatars, will LeapN support VRM? Great question. To begin, we are starting with, this is something we've touched on in the past gatherings. We want to deliver a core experience that people can use and get value from. And obviously every aspect of an experience can always be developed out further, but it has to have some foundation to be usable. To that extent, we're starting with a very popular model standard, GLB or GLTF rather, for people to upload avatars and assets to use in the game. Now, that's going to provide a basic, I shouldn't say basic, I should say a foundational link for a custom upload feature to be accessible in this experience. And then down the road, we want to work, actually VRM is probably, VRM is probably going to be the second one that we integrate because of its popularity, but that's going to be, that's still up to debate. Just going through these comments here quick before I get back to the presentation. Thank you, King, for your comment. Yeah, so standard rig also used by retargeting UE5. So what's nice now is, I don't know if I've shared this yet, but I'm going to share it now for the first time. The standard rig we're using now to more easily integrate people's avatars and animations, we're actually starting with the Mixamo rig. So you will be able to simply upload your compatible models into Mixamo and download them and configure them as a GLB as you need, even with animations, and have those be compatible in the LeapN experience. Now, we're starting with Mixamo because we know Mixamo is very accessible for people to upload an avatar and download it, have it rigged and animated, whereas rigging to an Unreal skeleton is not as accessible for many people. So again, we're starting with Mixamo and hopefully branching out to other rig conventions based on the adoption of the feature. The script. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to address more general chat comments later. Nunya, we'll talk about yours at the end. RingSen, business model. I hope this presentation talk will answer your question, RingSen. Okay, back to the presentation. I was going around, and yes, thank you. We will talk in the chat, the town hall chat from now on. Hi all. I've been looking at Gen Chat, so Reserved Albatross. I hope I answered your question as well when I addressed Green Egyptian about no, the NFTs will not be less important. They still have distinct feature sets. It's a matter of expanding accessibility, a flavor for what you can do in the metaverse, whether people are Web3 or not, and still having unique value for the NFT holders. So I hope I answered their question. I'm not sure if they're still here. Okay, back to the presentation. But thank you guys for the questions. I those are very important to clarify. All right. So as I was saying, I was going across different metaverse platforms in the industry, going through their websites and white papers and stuff. Admittedly, I didn't go through all of them. I only went through a few players in the space. There's quite a lot now, and I have to admit, a lot of them are actually doing some phenomenal work. I think I made a comment about Sandbox and Gen Chat recently about how I really admire how they are able to bring that customization of game experiences into a social aspect so easily, and people not relying just on high quality graphics to make that valuable. So people like Sandbox are doing very great work. And with Sandbox, and you're thinking, okay, well, what about LeapN? Like, what's so special about LeapN? I hope the presentation here will answer that question for you. So across all these platforms, everyone's work. Oh, I shouldn't say everyone. Like, I haven't seen everyone, but I know a lot of players are working on some great things. But the marketing language and the ecosystem articulation, I notice, is kind of similar across a lot of players. A lot of players in this project in this space, I'll say, where it's typically paraphrased as, we will allow you to build virtual experiences where you can socialize, earn, game, explore, and more. And a lot of projects have said that, and I'll admit even LeapN has, obviously, in the past. But now I've realized, okay, looking into these projects that I'm not as familiar with, I see them saying these things, and I see like the videos of trailers and stuff. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. But what does this mean? Cool, so I can build a virtual experience, socialize, game, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but why? Why would I want to do that? And why should I do it on your platform and not on someone else's that's saying the same thing? So I feel like there's an unmet, or I should say an unanswered question in the space for first of all, what does this quote mean? And how is it unique between brands? And moving forward in this journey of LeapN, that's what I want to focus LeapN's approach on. How it's not just what you'll do in the metaverse, but it's how you'll do it. And how with LeapN, we are working to stand out from the rest. So as I talked about earlier in the presentation, here is the old LeapN UI. So this is what many of you might be familiar with, because this is actually the current UI. I actually even was playing this on a Mac, and I just took screenshots. So this is like the most up-to-date UI. And this is not what the future LeapN sees for the metaverse being. So as you can see, this is a very typical interface that people are very used to in convention. If your login screen, your menu selection and everything, and that lets you get between experiences. But as we talked about earlier in this presentation, we want to stand out and really hold true to the name LeapN, where you can leap in and out of experiences, integrating that seamless, simple focus. So building out this next phase of LeapN experience, we're working to deliver a truly seamless experience, redefining what people expect from a metaverse experience. And this is all high level stuff right now, and I'll talk about when we can get to more granular details later. But again, this is a high level overview of the direction of LeapN moving forward. So what's the recipe to distinguishing LeapN? So the core ingredients in this seamless integration will be Well, or I guess the core ingredient in this approach will be the seamless integration between these products and services, these banners, which, yes, include the NFTs, the LeapN desktop app, the LeapN profile, and the LeapN builder. And as I'll highlight a few times for the rest of the presentation, the LeapN profile is the center of this integration, which will transcend even the LeapN desktop experience. So the way that we're going to approach this has a few aspects, and again, about the avatar. So as some of you may have seen, here I'll actually talk about a concrete feature that we're working on, this avatar import I referenced with I'm a Captain Hook. We're already well into development with it, where you can upload a Mixamo rigged avatar, and there's also, well, yeah, so a Mixamo rigged avatar into your LeapN experience during runtime as well. So this will allow you to express your unique self no matter which experience you're in whichever compatible experience you're in the LeapVerse. And this avatar is also linked to your profile, so you can link your avatars, items, and your accessories across these different worlds and experiences. So that's great, but again, we fall into that trap of sounding like the other guys, sounding like using the same marketing language that a lot of metaverse companies are. Expressing yourself and linking your items. That's great. Okay, but what makes LeapN unique? And the answer to that question is your avatar in LeapN will be the main medium in which you experience the metaverse. Say that again. So your avatar, who you are not simply playing as, but is the digital representation of yourself, is the main medium in which you will see, interact with, and experience the metaverse through LeapN. Now, beyond this focus, and that by the way, that is what we truly think is going to make LeapN unique, and we can't give a demonstration of how that looks right now, but I just want to emphasize that that is a key distinguishing factor for our brand identity moving forward, and we will be releasing more on that later. Now, the other part of this is building. So the metaverse industry has evolved a lot in just the past few years. A lot of more user players, and business players coming in. But there are still some that are separating the play experience from the build experience. While at LeapN, we're driven by making that more seamless and simple. And that's what gives us an edge in this market, is because we have that in real time world builder that you can use while you are chatting with friends live in an experience, or while you are working with other things through your profile. If you want to equip yourself with items while you're building, while you're socializing, that is one of the things that we are focusing on to stand out as well. And that's the seamlessly leaping between building, playing, and socializing. And beyond that, having simply the intuitive creative interface, like I'm a Captain Hook said, preserving that drag and drop simplicity to build experiences, not just for the fun of hanging with others, but like I'm a Captain Hook said, to center around the lore of your project, or it doesn't even have to be a project, just whatever kind of story you're trying to tell. And alongside the avatar and the building, there's going to be other aspects that are going to be central to the LeapN experience. There's going to be exploring. We are leaping between, again, building live events and social gatherings in a seamless way, again, with your avatar being the medium of interaction. Spending and earning. Again, there's going to be the LeapN NFT integration. There's going to be NFTs of other projects that you can use for token gated or avatar or usage experience. But also we want to integrate easier onboarding into the metaverse by introducing fiat commerce. which will also expand opportunities not only for growing LeapN's user base and LeapN's revenue streams, but for our entrepreneurial users by inviting more groups of people that maybe come from a Web 2 background to interact with your experiences and pay for the services that you may be providing through your creation. And then again, socializing, bringing these Web3 and Web 2 communities together, but interacting in this new innovative medium that is the metaverse. And it goes beyond just 3D spatial gatherings, but as you've seen in the past, LeapN with speech bubbles and emojis, and bringing voice chat to LeapN soon as well, and events and all these other things that we're going to be integrating throughout the platform. So moving forward, well, again, like there's always been values with LeapN, and moving forward, we want to really highlight the values that are at the core of developing the project, developing the community, and developing the experience. I talked about simplicity, being seamless, and all of that, but one thing that I really want to highlight as a core value for LeapN is opportunity. And that isn't just opportunity for LeapN as a business, but for the community as well. This is the core value in the relaunch of our platform. Opportunity awaits on the path ahead of this refresh for the LeapN business to grow and continue to innovate, while also providing new avenues for users to both express themselves and creatively innovate in this new era of digital social connection. So to summarize what we are doing to move LeapN forward and help it stand out in the space and grow not only for ourselves, but again, that opportunity for our users is centered around opportunity, obviously, but being simple and seamless in this road ahead. So this will be achieved by this UI UX overhaul with an entirely new app design for the LeapN desktop, seamlessly integrating products and services. The integration of the LeapN NFTs we talked about, giving these distinct features and value to the NFTs and those who hold them and use them, while also being accommodating of not only welcoming, but inspiring new audiences, whether they're from Web3 or beyond. And capitalizing on our market advantage of things like the integrated real-time LeapN builder. And focusing on the seamless experience of socializing, playing, building, and managing your experiences all in one system. And again, the most important thing is putting you, the user, as the core medium of this new user experience. And that is something that we will touch on more as time progresses. So we look forward to sharing this new experience with the upcoming LeapN desktop release with you in the future. And we will talk about this rollout plan and early access and everything in a few points moving forward here. So I wanted to open it up for questions here now. I will look through the Townhall chat, and if anybody wants to come up on the stage, see if you can request to come up. Otherwise, there may not be role permissions. I might have to manually get you guys up here. Okay, so I want to address oh, sorry, I'll just see if Captain Hook has something to add. All right, so actually, yeah, while Captain Hook's typing, Hub and Nunya, there was comments about the payments that were discussed in previous gatherings. So I want to acknowledge that I see your messages and hear your questions. From those discussions we had previously, if you remember, that's something that Adam was working on to fulfill a lot of those promises with the plan that he was setting out. So while I want to help move that forward and address those questions, I just wanted to say that I think that would be more effective to facilitate that discussion with Adam present, so that he can weigh in for how that's progressing and what he's been doing. While, as you can tell, Adam's not here. I wanted to take this time to focus on the LeapN platform, what we're working on, how we're moving forward, and how there's going to be opportunity for people with this relaunch. So, okay, so Nunya and Hub, there's good comments here. Okay, so first of all, I will talk to Adam about facilitating another chat hub. And secondly, Nunya, I know you've been talking with Adam a lot lately, and I appreciate your patience, first of all, but I'd like for you to talk with me directly from now on. And I would like to have a conversation with you after this chat so we can get caught up and move forward. So I would really like to help move that along for you, Nunya. So please send me a DM, and I would love to chat more right after this town hall. Yeah, no worries. And how, like I said, I'll talk to Adam about arranging something. Okay, so King, I'm going to answer questions even though they may have been addressed here, just to make sure I'm being thorough. King asks, will the old collections be consolidated to the new VLANs? Yes, answer is yes. And again, with the unique feature sets. Reserved Albatross, I think I addressed that already. Avatar intelligence, Nectar. That's a great question, Nectar. So what I'll say is what we're focusing on right now to distinguish LeapN is the user experience. And that's what we're going to initially deliver on, in parallel with obviously delivering on utility of the NFTs. When it comes to next level things like avatar intelligence, that's something where we may be looking to collaborate with people like other projects that are even specialized in that to integrate features like that, or even have that be something that the community as developers are able to integrate through our LeapN API. So while that's a natural progression of the roadmap, I just wanted to say, like, right now we're focused on overhauling user experience, branding, marketing to adopt more people, introduce those revenue streams to sustain LeapN and the entrepreneurs in our community, and deliver on utility. And Ringsen, how will LeapN generate revenue? Cool. I think you asked that business model question in the Gen chat too. So how we plan to generate revenue. Sorry, it's not that I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to order my thoughts in presenting them. So what I am focused on right now is sure, yeah. Let's talk about business model for a second. You're right. In the past, when the NFTs, I won't talk about crypto. I'll just talk about NFTs in particular. When the NFT space was in a bull run and there was a lot of excitement and a lot of adoption, and especially activity with LeapN NFTs, that was helpful in funding LeapN operations and developments. And obviously, like the LeapN engagement aside, the NFT space as a whole, yes, there are many opportunities where people are making revenue and making money. And yes, people have the opportunity to follow that kind of blueprint. But at LeapN, what we want to do is we want to focus on the stability of those operations and that revenue. So it's not a matter of solely relying on things like primary NFT sales or NFT royalties. While that will be one aspect of, oh, sorry, my screensaver went again. Well, that will be one aspect that helps out we want to introduce new streams that will help LeapN sustain itself as a business and its operations and its continued innovation. That's a key part of that is integrating this fiat in the spend and earn aspect. Because while, yes, there is a huge user base that will actively engage in crypto transactions on the platform, there's an even larger audience of creatives that are proven in their industries to spend funds on not only accessorizing and expressing themselves, but on creating virtual experiences on whatever platform they may be on. And so those kind of audiences we see as an opportunity where if we can provide value, will also help with those business operations. And part of that may be mirroring to an extent like those kind of business models of games. So where you're paying for accessories or increased features that you can do with your avatar or things that you can access, or premium. All right, I'll talk about premium in a sec. So that's one thing. So following that business model that's been proven for decades to be successful for game companies. Another part is premium offerings as well. So we want to provide an accessible experience, like I said, for Web 2 and Web 3 to get people into the metaverse. But there are some people that want to take it to that next level. And that's where we see an opportunity that people that might want that better performance or better intricate control of what they can do to offer them a premier experience. And that might come in the form of a subscription or an NFT that you hold or an NFT that you stake or something like that. So basically providing options for those that want to expand their experience to get value in paying for that expansion. So those are some of the things that we're looking to integrate. And that's why I'll say the three most important things to get there. So let's be frank. Right now, the app, if we wanted to integrate like PayPal or crypto or bank cards, Visa, whatever, no one's going to pay money to do things on there right now. That's the truth. So we need to overhaul things so that it is worthwhile for there being that value for people to do that. So that's number one, where the UI overhaul comes in, where it's totally redesigned. It attracts new audiences and makes people want to engage with the platform and its features. And number two, it's allowing people to personalize themselves with avatars and with items so that people want to not only engage in these experiences, but show off what they have and be proud of what they're doing. And then number three are these payment system integrations, whether it be fiat or crypto. And then beyond that, giving experiences for people that they want to engage with, that have that value. And if they want maybe more premier experience. So while it might not seem what we're doing right now is making immediate money, it's the foundation to get there, because like I said, no one's going to pay money to enter the Luxe Resort right now. Not that people will have to pay, but like if there's NFT gating perhaps or something else. I'm saying like if there's a premier experience in the Luxe Resort, no one's going to pay to enter it right now. That's what this new overhaul is going to work towards. I appreciate, seems like I conveyed that clearly, Ring Sense, so thank you. Okay. Are there any more questions? I'm seeing Gen chat. Okay. All right, any more questions? And also, while people are typing, another thing is some of you may not know if you haven't seen the updates, but we The current actually no, this is a very important thing. Actually, the current LeapN app is actually available for Mac OS natively now. So like we aren't distributing it yet for like early access, but like it's if people are interested, they can message me, and if they have a Mac, and we can get them set up. Um, and it's still like an early test because it's like the first time we're rolling out the Mac native for both Intel and Apple Silicon. So it's the first time we're rolling it out, and there's still going to be bugs that we're still getting feedback on because it has obviously not been out as long as the Windows platform. But that's another key point of this new rollout and having it be accessible to a broader audience is having that like Mac OS integration as well. And some of you might be wondering, hey, this is news to me. Why have I not heard about the Mac OS? That's come out yet. For two reasons. Number one, if you recall from the presentation, that cycle that I talked about that we're going to repeat about highlighting what's currently available, that's, well, it's not really to answer your question, Rick. It's kind of marketing, but not really marketing to Web 2. That's the focus we're doing right now. So the fact that the Mac OS app isn't like ready to just like flood out into the public for hundreds of people to download, we want to like roll it out for just some people to get some feedback on if they can still use it. That's why we're not pushing it out so readily yet. And so that when it is ready, there is momentum behind that grand release that there's a Mac OS app to get some excitement around it. Number two, the community can like weigh in on that.
But I'm. Sorry, I think my headphones just died. Can you guys hear me? It's like the. I've asked this several times. Okay, cool. So yeah, and the recording stopped because my headphones died. So 1 second. All right, so the second reason that we're not like pushing like that there's a Mac OS native version now is because of this UI overhaul. And Ringson, if you're talking about like marketing to Web 2, considering we are totally redesigning the menu interface and again like having the focus be on you as the medium of interaction, we don't really want to push the current layout to get people to associate that with LeapN. Like we want this new relaunch to be what people associate with LeapN moving forward. So that's why I'm a bit hesitant to roll out access to that. But again, if there's anyone in the community that wants access to the Mac OS, just let me know. But those are the two reasons we're not like revealing it en masse yet. Just for like the close community so far here in Discord. Yeah, so planning on the marketing side to attract people from Web2. Awesome. So good question. So part of this next phase in LeapN isn't just on the side that the community and users will see, it's also on the business side. So it's a matter of getting professionals in each respective department to weigh in on strategizing and executing the plan to move LeapN forward as a business. Like there's obviously the front end that users experience and what value do the users get, but in order to push LeapN forward and make it sustainable and continue to deliver, there needs to be that business aspect to it. So when it comes to the marketing side, Ringsen, it's a matter of bringing in those experts that have not only a passion for it, but have actual proven experience that can execute on that that facet of the operation to make it successful. So not necessarily doing that internally, but bringing in experts to make sure that that's rolled out successfully and effectively. Awesome. Hey, Subswoosh, good to see you here. We recorded the presentation, so you can always check back on it later. I'm going to probably do a text transcription so it's easier to skim through for the key points. And we may or may not release the audio and video based on what people are asking for. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to message in the town hall chat, and I'll address them before we wrap up. Okay, well, it's good to have you all here. Thank you all for attending. And any more questions that might come up, just feel free to message me in Gen Chat, and we will work on. And yeah, Nunya, I will get back to your DM right after. Thanks for reminding me there by by typing. And we'll see y'all later. Thanks for taking your time, everyone. Take care.